You're looking at the 2008 NASCAR Executive of the Year by ESPN and the Kansas City Star. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. So that was actually so in '07, we talked earlier about MB2 and its history. So in '07, the history of MB2 pretty much ended. We actually merged with DEI and did some different things. There were some things going on. It's funny, look at all the charter stuff that's going on right now,
Yeah, I
which
was
is really good.
yeah.
So we would have had 3 charter teams plus a Bush team in that building that we mentioned earlier. So if that was today, I might not be here now. That could have been really good, right? Yeah. Anyways,
That could have been really
that
good.
could have
I
been
don't know.
really good.
Is that a good
Yeah.
thing?
Is that a
It's
that could
not
have
I might not have been here. I would not
Yeah.
be here right
So-
now. That's what he meant to say.
that wasn't in place then at that time. So we ended up merging with DEI, which was a good thing. And it was unfortunate that our run ended like it did or when it did. But then from that point, I just kind of wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. I kind of assumed I was going to go help Rick and to do something. And I got this unusual call from Lee White from Toyota. But yeah, so I go see Lee. We talk about some things. There's some things going on at Red Bull that they want to look at some different things. No problem. He hooks me up to talk to Dr. Marco. The Dr. Marco that you see on the Formula One broadcast. That Dr. Marco. So Dr. Marco's like, we'd like to have you come over and meet with us. Obviously that's in Austria, which is not where you normally go to meet with somebody.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yes, sir. Glad to. I'd love to come meet with you. Well, when would you like me to come? He goes, well, can you be here tomorrow? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, how does tomorrow work? I'm like, okay.
Sounds like an AJ Foyt,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe Hamilton story.
Yes.
Yeah, go-
So we're in Charlotte. I'm like, okay, how do I get to Austria from Charlotte like tomorrow? So I looked, and there was like a 6:00 flight that you get there at noon the next day. So jump on the flight, go over there, have lunch with him at noon. He takes me to meet with with Mr. Manischitz. So Dietrich Manischitz, the founder of Red Bull, who could not have been, he passed away a year or so ago, could not have been a nicer man, just unbelievable what he did to create that whole category. Now, his story was fascinating. So we met, they were like, we want you to do this. I'm like, well, let me think about it. So they're sending me things on the plane coming back because I flew right back to that next day, which is cool. Talked to Rick, and then we decided to go do that. So went to be the vice president, general manager of the Red Bull NASCAR.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was going to go. And he had said something about Ed Laukus from Toyota mentioning, ask him that question. But was that 2008 to 2011?
Yeah, 8, 9,
12, somewhere in there?
12, yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. So it was good. So they were doing some things. I talk a lot of times about blocking and tackling. I mean, they got so far ahead of themselves to try to be better than everybody else. A lot of times when you start, if you just kind of get like them first, let's kind of do what everybody does first, and then you can kind of pick and choose what you want to try to do differently. So they were way out here doing some things. So we kind of reset the thing, kind of started blocking and tackling.
Back to the fundamentals.
Yeah, right. Do the fundamentals right. The team started having some success, made the playoffs or the chase, in, I guess it was '08 with Vickers. Did a really good job. Won Michigan, which was cool. And the team, we kind of turned it around. Both teams were in the points and where they needed to be. And the Toyota guys were amazing to work with. I mean, phenomenal to work with. It was a whole different approach how they came into NASCAR at the time, right? With, having their own facility and a lot of things all of them are doing now is because of what Toyota started doing back then.
I think they made him do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Toyota was doing it, and,
Yeah.
and everybody else said, man, if we're going to be anything, we got to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So all those guys, David Wilson, Ed, just Andy Graves, all still really good friends to this day, really good guys. We would love to have them participate in IndyCar if they're, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, when they were there before, it was kind of just getting itself back together to what IndyCar is again today. But I think if they got back there, I think they would raise the bar again,
Yeah.
and it would be great for competition for everybody involved.
Yeah.
And they're great. Not only are they great with the on-track stuff, they're great with the activation.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
They don't just set cars out there. They actually have a call to action, on the car, what it's doing, what it's built and how it's done. But the first time I started dealing with them, I think was probably in '06 or maybe '04. But I started dealing with them, and that was about the time Ed came in.
Yeah.
And Carter had made a position there for somebody to absolutely concentrate on motorsports, and David Illingworth, of course. And so, but yeah, I mean, it just there, and you wouldn't know. And I always said this about him: you wouldn't know who was the CEO, and you wouldn't know who the salesman was. That's just their whole thing. They're just a level, you know, and everybody does their thing. And when it comes down to it, you'll know who it is. But at the end of the day, but yeah, I was mesmerized with the way they stepped into NASCAR.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So we get the Red Bull, and you know, I go, so this is what we've been racing the last couple of years. I mean, I see the money, the budget compared to what we had. So at MB2 and you know, all the MBs that we talked about, I mean, we had good, you know, really good sponsors: U.S. Army, Valvoline, M&M's, Skittles. But when Red Bull came in, they changed the game too. I mean, it was different. And I remember right off the bat, I reduced the budget by, I don't know, a lot, substantial amount. Again, blocking and tackling, back to basics, all that type of stuff. So we didn't need this. And I call them and like, you know, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and we could have this, you know. And they almost got mad at me, like, "Wait, what's wrong? Our money's not good."
You don't need our money.
Yeah, no, yes, sir, we need the money. Yes, but let's wait till year 2, and then we're gonna need to do this and this. Here we go. And it was a really unique experience. So I would have to go to Austria 2 or 3 times a year and meet with Mr. Mateschitz at this, they call it the barn, which was out on this hill in Austria, like unbelievably beautiful barn up on this hill, you know, and you go inside, it was like, you know, like this. But it was me, Christian Horner, and Franz Toast who would have to go meet. So they called it the company projects or whatever. So it was the 2 F1 teams. And it was just, you know, the people I met with, obviously, were very passionate about F1. And then here we are, the NASCAR guy, and they're like, you know, and we were around a year from a budget perspective too. So they would kind of pat me on the head and tell me how good I was doing. And, you know, there you go.
Shoo you away.
Yeah, all good. So it was awesome. Yeah.
Before we go to commercial break, did you catch what he just said? He said he was in Austria at his house, and it was beautiful, just like this.
No, the barn. No, the barn. It was like, you know, very high tech. You know, it was like high tech. You guys are very high tech.
I like that.
Just take it and run with it, man.
I'm
Take it and run with it.